Hello vinyl community, my name is Richard. Welcome to my channel. Well, it has been a long time since I've made a video. Things have been kind of hectic and crazy here the last several months, and had one in the hopper and never got out and kind of got dated. But I figured time to get back in it, and what a better place to start than a Vinyltag video and responding then to Ron Walker's 2023 Vinyltag. I'll try to make my responses pretty quick, so I can get to bed and get rested for finishing cleaning up from a major blizzard hitting the area. I think talking about maybe 1.5 feet of snow. A bit of stuff to do, but anyways, I'll start with the first question. My favorite 2022 release, and those are some tough questions. Depends on a lot of things, like just the basic mood that I'm in. But I will try and pick something brand new from 2022, and a band that's I think it's certainly well established by now, but I'm kind of glad to see someone young produce some great stuff. This is Black Meaty, and their album is Hellfire. Comes with a bit of a promo thing here too. I forget the English term for these square kind of promo discs, but great kind of King Crimson. Sometimes I think I hear a little Beefheart in there, type band, inspired band. They also do have a really awesome version, kind of modern version of King Crimson too on their YouTube channel. So really enjoyed this album. Next question is showing an album by the artist that you last saw live, and I don't exactly live in a place that gets a lot of concerts, locally at least, and traveling has not been something I've had much of a chance to do in the last several months. So I will show this album, and obviously I did not see Frank Zappa, nor anything directly Zappa related, but Uncle Frank does have a large extended family, if you will, of musicians, and Steve Vai very recently came to town with his Inviolate tour. Great guitar enthusiastic music, shall we say. Really enjoyed the concert, and Steve Vai does play on this album, which I have yet to really listen to, because it's kind of a somewhat recent find in the used bin at the local store. The next question is the first album was their best, and I will steal a card from someone else's playbook, might have been Steve Carlson's, and show a one and off type band. The artist here is Tullio D'Episcopo Revolt Group, and Tullio D'Episcopo is an Italian percussionist. I believe he's played with a great many known other artists, including Chet Baker, Haven Red. Now, this particular group, I believe, only issued this album called Sotto e Coppa, and I'm probably butchering this, so please correct me if someone can do proper pronunciation of Italian. Great Italian jazz fusion album. I really enjoyed it. This is a recent re-release from a 70s era album. Next one is Hat Trick. Show LP, CD, cassette. All my cassettes, if they even exist anymore, other than remnants in the landfill, would be in an attic 7,000 miles away. I doubt they ever made it there, but I will show Mahavishnu Orchestra's Bird of Fire. So I have the LP. Great fusion album. I do have the CD. And as some other folks have done, I will also show. I do have a guitar tab book, John McLaughlin. This is more for looking at and maybe playing to. You can open this up and say, play 213 beats per minute, which is far, far away from the level of guitar player that I'm at. You will, for example, see on this album, there's a tune called Miles Beyond, which is McLaughlin's homage to Miles Davis. And in this book, you can find the guitar tabs for kind of the reverse Miles Davis's John McLaughlin, only to 213 beats per minute. Going to the next question. An album that starts and ends with the same letter. Kind of random pickup. This was playing in the local record store, and I visited a good while ago. This is Africa by the English band Demon Fuzz. Great soul jazz funk album. Includes the tune I Put a Spell on You. Though I will probably admit that I like the Brian Ferry or the audience version a bit more. But fun album. Then show an album by an artist that was born the same year as you are. I really struggled with this one. After a lot of Googling, I did find that Omar Rodriguez Lopez from Mars Volta was born in 1975. This is the last Mars Volta album that came out in 2022. Probably not quite my the style I was hoping for from Mars Volta. Kind of like their more intense side, like from Francis the Mute. But certainly the album has gotten a lot of good reviews. Just not quite my taste. Next, the most listened to album in 2022. I don't know exactly what that is, but it could be this one. This is Italian prog band Museo Rosenbach. Their album is Zarathustra. This is a re-release on the yellow vinyl. I think a relatively recent re-release. Really great Italian prog. Really enjoy this one. Then the most listened to artist. And I tried to somewhat stay away from too much Norwegian stuff in the same YouTube video here, but gotta be honest too. So this is a very recent acquisition from Uncle Discogs, a used copy of the Terje Rypdal album Descender on ECM Records. I believe from 80 maybe, or early 80s, ECM label. Then show a surprising purchase. And digging in the used bins at my local record store, I ran across Sup of Camel, 60s, at least they started in the 60s, American West Coast psych. Maybe not what I would buy the most of, but I don't know if it's an entire surprise, but maybe the closest I could get to it. So fun song on this album. A little bit of seam split, but overall good condition otherwise. This is a re-release. Then show 3 albums by the same artist, or it's just sorry, an artist you're complete on. And I will go to Finland and show Malady. It's a psych prog rock band, a little bit on the calmer side. Some would say a little Pink Floyd inspired. This is their latest album from 22. I know Hunta, I believe 22, maybe it was like 21. This is their first album, I think from, was it 2015? This self-titled. And this is their second album, Toinen Toista. All on Finnish label, so it's Finnish label, Svart Records. And then show a string of 3 albums from the same group. And I've already shown these quite a while ago now, but I can't help myself. It's probably not in order, quite in order here, but this is the latest re-release of the first 3 Manograph Generator albums, H to the He, The Least We Can Do Is Wave to Each Other, and Pawn Hearts. All with the reprint of the Mad Hatter Charisma label on it. Then next is a soundtrack from the 80s. This is Tangerine Dreams soundtrack to the movie Flashpoint. I am not really familiar with the movie. I might have seen it, but then it's so long ago that I don't remember it. I recognize at least Chris Christopherson on the back cover there. I have listened to it, and I will admit it's been a while ago when I can't recall it very well. It's not quite entirely rubbing the wrong way or anything, but I do have to revisit it. But it's kind of the price was right album anyways. Let's see, then show an album by someone we lost in 2022. So I will show, it's a lot of glare here. Sorry, this is Deus Arrakis by Klaus Schulze. Klaus Schulze being at least for most of the years he was active, synthesizer artist. And before that he did percussion with Ashra Temple, and I think some have already noted Klaus Schulze as the answer to this question. And the next one is show an album that kind of disappointed you, and yeah, it's kind of already buried back in a stack here, but so for efficiency I will just still note the Mars Volta latest album. Again, I don't think it's a bad album, just not for me. I was hoping for some more kick, if you will, when I heard it, but I will be giving it another chance or two for sure. Then, a non-vinyl purchase. Pete over at Sounds from the West Coast showed this book a while ago, A Fistful of Spaghetti. The subtitle is Encyclopedia of Italian Progressive Rock, Experimental, Electronic Music, etc. by Stephen Freeman and Alan Freeman. So I look forward to diving into this book. And probably covers that some of you will recognize on the back here. And as Pete said, he was mentioned in the book too, so I'll have to find that mentioned. Then a Grail. Well, I had one album that I just had ended up having 2 fairly battered copies of, and I had been hoping that Svart Records the finished label would do a re-release on. And I just learned after a year or two that they already did a re-release, and somehow it escaped me. So this is the 2016 re-release of Jukka Tolonen's Tolonen album, his first solo album from 70s. A great Finnish progressive rock fusion guitarist. So a proper copy that's in good condition, which I'm really happy to find. Then show something space themed. And I will do something maybe a little different here. The cover certainly isn't very space themed, but I do have a 10-year-old that's starting to get more and more into music, and I do think he likes at least some amount of classical music. So I figured I'd pick up John Williams, the Berliner Philharmoniker, and John Williams in the Berlin concert includes various snippets various pieces of John Williams's music, including for movies like Star Wars and Indiana Jones. And like any 10-year-olds, my 10-year-old do like Star Wars. So I figured that could be a good entry point for some classical music, that is. Show some VCLT gift. Well, it has been shown before by many, but I don't think it hurts to show it again. Michael P. Dawson, Hurtle Turtle Out of Heaven. Very nice, kind of smoky gray vinyl. Nice experimental electronic music, which I have been getting more and more into over the past several months in particular. Appreciate more and more. Although not a huge deal, but it's been a little bit of time trying to learn some of the fundamentals of modular synthesizers, and just at a very elementary level. Nothing too formal, but along with that album, he also sent me this Donald Erb, Music for Instruments and Electronic Songs, Reconnaissance in No Strange Land, on the Non Such label. And this includes also Bertram Turetsky, who, if I recall correctly, had been someone that Michael P. Dawson had encountered in his learning of music. So, finally, show an album from 1973. And yeah, if I could have shown all my albums from 1973, including CDs, yeah, they could take a long time, as others have, I think, remarked as well. So, kind of maybe show some of the more jazzy side of my collection. So, Herbie Hancock with Headhunters. And with that, I realized I did skip the Australian band question, and I really struggled there. I don't know exactly what to respond. The closest I could come is I would have some CDs by Gong with David Allen on it, who's from Australia. So I'm going to opt to not show the CDs here, but that was as close as I could come, which is a bit embarrassing, and I do need some Gong vinyl in my collection eventually. Thanks for setting up the tag, Rob. Thanks for those that watched my video. hope there was something in here that was interesting for you. Take care, everybody.